Sun's out in England, which is a rarity, so I thought I'd just do a little bit of this video outside. Today we're looking at two 85mm lenses. One is the Samyang T1.5 and the other is Jupiter-9 f2. These are quite different lenses. Aside from the Samyang being a little bit faster, the aperture ring is really smooth. It's declicked all the way from T1.5 to T22, whereas the Jupiter-9 is f2 to f16 and it only goes up in full stop increments, and you have to use actually two rings, one to open it, one to select, and then close it back down again. So it's a little bit fiddly, whereas with the Samyang you can dial it in an instant. Aside from the aperture, the Samyang is plastic, so if you drop it, it might not hold up that well. Whereas the Jupiter, I have a feeling, I don't make a habit of dropping lenses, but I have a feeling it'll be more hardy than the Samyang because it is solid metal. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these compare. Let's get down to it. Right, let's have a quick look at both these lenses wide open. The Samyang, if you look at my right eye, is surprisingly sharp. There's also some serious bokeh going on. That's due to the fact that it's a T1.5 on a full frame sensor. The Jupiter is a fair bit less contrasty than Samyang and also cooler in its colour profile. However, the Jupiter is struggling massively sharpness wise. At T2 the Samyang's looking good, still getting lots of nice bokeh. You're also getting a bit of extra sharpness too. Now the Jupiter f2, as we saw a minute ago, is not very sharp. Bokeh also has some issues, as you can see from the flowers and from the lamp. And side by side, the Samyang does feel a little bit more contrasted than Jupiter. This is more of a preference rather than saying which is better. Now at T2.8, the Samyang is very sharp indeed, and still gives you very shallow depth of field. As you can see, the flowers are still fairly blurry. The Jupiter has a big jump in sharpness. Bokeh issues are still there, but much less than they were at f2. It seems to have gained some contrast, however, still much less contrasty than the Samyang. The Samyang does not seem to have jumped in sharpness as dramatically as it did from 2 to 2.8, but of course now at T4 you get the expected greater depth of field. The Jupiter-9 continues its huge jump in sharpness and is more than sharp enough. It's still keeping that nice lower contrast and slightly more neutral colouring, and the bokeh of the lamp feels slightly smoother than the Samyang, but there's not much in it. A thing that needs to be mentioned is the distance in minimum focusing, because the Samyang is 1.1 meter and the Jupiter is 0.8 meters. This might not sound like a lot, but as you can see from the examples, it does allow you to get that little bit closer with the Jupiter, which just means you can get those tighter shots. Now, you might have another lens in your kit that will do this for you, but I'm comparing these two lenses and that is a big difference. Focusing and pulling focus on these lenses, they're both manual focus. The Samyang has a smaller focus turn than the Jupiter. The Jupiter's about 270 degrees. I think the Samyang's something like 150-ish. But actually, because the Samyang is very smooth, it's still really good for focusing. And my copy of the Jupiter actually struggles. Stiff focusing coupled with that 270-degree turn does mean for when you're pulling focus from a faraway object to a very close object, it is a bit tricky to keep it stable. Okay, so there you have it, some basic tests. There are lots of other 85mm lenses on the market. These are just the two I have, so obviously the two I'm going to do the test on. Which one is best? I have a feeling for a lot of you it's going to be the Samyang, because it has got those cine functions. You know, it has got the declicked aperture, has got the nice ergonomics for video work, and it's also got those modern coatings which will allow you to match the lens a lot easier. When dealing with prime lenses, you're going to need a set. You could get a whole set of Samyangs, they'll match well, or you could even match this with some Zeiss, Canon, you know, it won't be too far off. Whereas with this Jupiter, it's very much a character lens, and it does have a lot of character. It's a really nice lens, but when building a set, you're going to struggle a little bit more. If you do some bargain hunting, go on some markets or look on, you know, second-hand websites, you will be able to find some other lenses which will match fairly close with it. But whether they're good condition ones or not, you know, it's a bit of pot luck. But anyway, why not do what I did? Get both of these. They're not expensive lenses in the grand scheme of things, and it's really nice to have that choice between the kind of reliable modern lens, and then that, you know, nice character vintage lens, which for certain projects will be amazing. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you next time. Remember, always be lighting.